It's week one of the NFL season, and here to tell us which positions to spend on and splurge on, or to save on and do not spend on, is our NFL panel. Geoff Ulrich, Reid T. Fowler. Geoff, we're just focusing on the Sunday slate here. So the quarterback position, is that where you're going to want to actually spend some cash or save cash in week one?
No, I think for week one, it's definitely okay to splurge on the quarterback position. We got a lot of value opening up with depth chart, injury issues at the running back, wide receiver position. And we got some pretty tasty matchups here with some really, really high-end rushing quarterbacks. I think Kyler Murray leads that list for me. You've got two teams in Tennessee and Arizona. They were both top 5 in terms of plays per second last year, play at a very fast pace. I expect both those teams to be very similar style teams this year. They didn't really go through any major coaching shifts or anything like that, offensive philosophies. Both teams have the same personnel back. I think it's going to be a fast-paced game in Arizona, and I think Kyler Murray at 7,600 there is a guy you should be paying up for. You can pay up for him. You can bring it back. You don't necessarily even have to stack with Kyler, bring it back with guys from the Tennessee side. So I love paying up a quarterback, and Kyler definitely on the top of my list for week one.
Reid, do you love paying up a quarterback as much as Geoff does?
I do. I'm going to go a little bit cheaper though than Geoff. I'm going to save some money here and save the penny so I can spend the dollars later. It's Russ Wilson at $7,000. Historically a fast starter. If you look at 2018 to 20, his last 3 years in week one, 2 of those weeks he did very, very well. Multiple touchdowns, 3 or more touchdowns. And last year, 31 for 35, close to 400 yards passing, 4 touchdowns against Atlanta. And Indy, if you look at the last 6 games, 5 of those games they gave up over 300 yards. So give me Russ Wilson at 7,000.
Fowler, how about the running back position in week one? You going to spend some cash there or save?
Save a little bit, Emerson. Raheem Mostert, $5,800, favored by over a touchdown against probably the worst defense in the NFL right now in the Detroit Lions. He was 9th, I believe, in yards per touch last season at 5.6. So he and Sermon could get a lot of work done in that backfield. Not scared at all if that's a timeshare. Not scared at all if Raheem Mostert only gets 60% of the workload, because what he's done with that type of workload in the past is great. So give me Raheem Mostert.
Geoff, at running back, you making it rain or pinching pennies?
I really like the Raheem Mostert call by Reid, but this is another position I want to pay up for. I just think there's too many studs, and you can't ignore them. My favorite is probably going to be Dalvin Cook going up against the Cincinnati Bengals defense that was second last in yards per carry at 5.1 yards per carry allowed last year. Really not that much has changed on the Bengals defensive side of the ball. Maybe they might be a little bit better, but look, they're going up against one of the premier running backs / offensive line duos in the league in the Minnesota Vikings and Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, sitting there at 9,100. I think between him and Kamara, these are a pair of guys in nice matchups that you're going to have to pay up for one of them. And Dalvin Cook right now, just with the matchup against the Bengals, he's going to be my favorite. So another position at running back, there's definitely some value, and I think Reid made good points. You could also look at Damian Harris as a potential value, but I think running back is a position I'd much rather pay up for and save elsewhere.
Geoff, as for the dudes who receive the football, also known as wide receivers, how bad do you need to pay up at this position, or maybe you don't?
So look, there's a lot of studs at wide receiver, but this is where I think you can start to save your money. This is where I want to save. I want to pay down, because there's guys like DeVonta Smith at 4,500 who's coming in. Again, I've mentioned this game like 3 times already, but Eagles, Atlanta, 2 fast-paced teams, not really good defenses, no real pass rush or great corners to worry about. DeVonta Smith at 4,500 going to be coming in, taking a wide receiver 1 workload right off the start. He's healthy. People have kind of forgotten about DeVonta Smith because he was injured early in the preseason, but he's coming into this game healthy, and I also think you can look at Michael Pittman for value. No T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman going to be taking a lead role there in Indy. So 2 guys there in Pittman and DeVonta Smith can save you a lot of bucks week one. I like them both.
A lot of studs here, wide receiver in week one, Reid.
Yeah, I'm staying with that Seattle game. I think at 48.5 over under that game total, I think it's going to be a sneaky game where a lot of people don't potentially go to in terms of the passing offenses. And I like DK Metcalf. Sure, there's a lot of guys you can save on, right? I think Pittman Jr. with that game stack is fine. I think Robbie Anderson as well in a revenge game narrative week one, I think is fine as well. But if you take a look at DK Metcalf at $7,500, if you look at the games that Russ Wilson threw over 300 yards, DK Metcalf weeks 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, Emerson, all odd weeks for some reason. I don't know why. He averaged 20.3 DK fantasy points, and one of those games, 4.9 against Arizona. The other 5 or 4 games were absolutely fantastic for DK Metcalf. So give me him. I want to pay up.
Reid, what's your approach at the tight end position in week 1?
Yeah, I think Kyle Pitts is grossly mispriced at $4,000. Geoff mentioned that Eagles Atlanta game. Look, he's a rookie. I know that, right? Like, people are scared that rookie tight ends can't make a splash early. TJ Hawkinson did it his first game out when he was a rookie. And Kyle Pitts is not your typical tight end. He's absolutely fantastic. A lot of buzz around Russell Gage, Geoff, over the last week, but it's Kyle Pitts. They shipped away Julio Jones. They picked this guy, very high in the draft. So give me Kyle Pitts at 4,000. If you want to save too on tight end, you can. But look at what Philly did the last season, their first 2 weeks. They got 4 touchdowns, 1 to Logan Thomas in week 1 and 3 to Tyler Higbee in week 2. So Philly can give up a lot of points with the tight end position.
All right, Geoff, how do you navigate the tight end position?
Yeah, it's kind of like, are you playing Travis Kelce or are you paying down? I'm kind of with Reid. I feel like people are just they're just going to talk themselves out of Kyle Pitts for no good reason. Philly also is not really good team defending against the tight end position last year. I think that's probably going to carry over to this year. I'm expecting a fast-paced game. I just think he's underpriced as well at 4,400. So Kyle Pitts, definitely a player. But I think you can go even deeper. Again, if you're not going to play Kelce, go for extreme value. Anthony Ferguson taking over the lead tight end role in Tennessee. That's a fast-paced game as well. Two teams in the top 5 of pace of play last year, like I mentioned. I think Anthony Ferguson at 3,200. Look, he gets in the end zone. Titans like to use their tight ends in the end zone. Jonas Smith, 8 touchdowns. Those 8 touchdowns are gone. Could some of those go to Ferguson? Probably. So I like Anthony Ferguson at 3,200 as well for extreme value.
Geoff, this is the most important question you will answer today and possibly this week. Your slate-approved pick. So your favorite DFS play on the week 1 slate is who and why?
It's going to be DeVonta Smith at 4,500. Again, I just feel like this guy is going way under the radar. He's in a wide receiver 1. The dude's top, first-round pick in a great matchup, and people just seem to be a little bit nervous because of the early injury, but he's healthy. DeVonta Smith at 4,500, I think one of the best values on the slate.
Reid, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit off a guy that I didn't mention yet. I'm going to go Antonio Gibson at $5,900 against the Rams. People are going to be scared off the Rams. I get that. This over-under is 44, and this defense for the Rams is strong, but this is a bell call back with a much better offense. If he gets 3 downs like we think he is, and he's able to get all those carries against a team that is tough and people are not going to play against, I really like it for GPPs.